DCS 2.9.3.51704. New campaign, DCS, F-15C Aggressors Air Combat Maneuvering Campaign by Maple Flag. DCS World. Terrain scenery performance, optimized instancing and improved and optimized streaming. China Asset Pack. Missiles KD-20, KD-63 and C-701T switch to ED's declaration. China Asset Pack. Bomb Type 200A switch to ED's declaration. China Asset Pack. LS6/GB6 updated range table. China Asset Pack. HHQ-9 cold launch effect added. Input. When a single controller axis is bound twice X. With and without a modifier, on a single game axis, the A-axis tune modal fails to save its settings. Fixed. Erdender. Fixed the square surface texture under the destroyed vehicle in FLIR. Weapons. APKWS RCS decreased from 0.04-0.01 SQM. Fixed crash when one of two groups is destroyed while embarking a helicopter. Fixed crash when one of two groups is destroyed while embarking a vehicle. Fixed crash when infantry destroyed during a task embarking. Fixed crash when one of two groups is destroyed while embarking a ship. Task embarking, distribution doesn't work correctly for boat corrected. Fixed crash while performing a task embarking in some cases. Fixed exploit aircraft can be equipped with weapons from other aircraft in some cases. AI aircraft. AIS-3B tanker parks on a place already occupied with static fixed. Triggers. Part of group in zone activates when it should not corrected. Triggers. Trigger zone. Checking inside the attached zone. Effects. Rain effect is not cleared when it is turned off without restarting the DCS fixed. Fixed bug when camera can attach to dead object. AI ground. When a SAM launcher has no LOS with its tracking radar, it still fires missiles, but they explode 1 second later fixed. AI helicopters. Fixed IS speed versus. Wind bug. AI helicopters. Wheeled helicopters allow takeoff and landing from a parking position. Normal weight value was corrected. Control hover added A64 taxi improved. AI helicopters. AIs collide with each other on vertical takeoff fixed. AI wingmen with data links remain on after shutdown fixed. Se. MT. Any looped out text message flashes at different intervals in multithreading fixed. AI surface. Infantry does not move after switching green state fixed. AI surface. Radar Sun 9 alarm state cannot be set to green fixed. AI surface. Ships may behave incorrectly when using the checkbox on land fixed. AI surface. The second group can't execute command embarking to ship fixed. AI surface. Deactivation function works only on part of units from the group fixed. AI aircraft. SA-342 using ATGM Hot 3 missile in Hellfire style fixed. Weapons. Negative weight of ATGM Hot 3 payload fixed. Effects. Moonlight reflection over the sea produces a blinding halo corrected. Weapons. KH-65 missiles turn around and most don't hit their target fixed. AI aircraft. The likelihood of the aircraft colliding with trees when going around mountain tops has been reduced. AI aircraft. AR. AI struggles to keep the probe into the right drogue when the tanker orbits in a left turn fixed. VR in cockpit cursors have become oversized and blurred fixed. Effects. Flickering shadows in mirrors at night at some camera angles fixed. AI aircraft. Drones were unable to launch ATGM Hellfire from high altitudes due to a missile guidance issue. Now the altitude is limited to 3,600 meters. AI surface. S-75 SA-2 tracking targets through mountains. LOS check restored. Me. Triggers. Added expanded window in trigger actions for script. Weapons. ATGM at 6 and at 9 will be lost if the launcher is destroyed. AI aircraft. Incorrect behavior of the helicopter during landing in some cases was fixed. AI aircraft. AI helicopters fail to engage ground targets in some cases fixed. Crash when deactivating a ship during a helicopter task cargo transportation fixed. AI surface. NASAMS attacks helicopters from short distances only fixed. Weapons. Corrected aiming data for GBU 10, Kabupaten 1500 lagi PR, Kabupaten 1500 lagi, GBU 24, Kabupaten 500L, GBU 54, GBU 12. DCSMT vehicle guns shaking during rotation fixed. AI surface. Turned off exaggerated recoil when launching missiles. Me. GUI error when changing ship type if AIM-MO tab open fixed. Weapons. Increased APKWS M282 warhead power. AI aircraft. S-3B tanker. Mechanics of releasing the refueling basket and the refueling process have been adjusted. Voice chat. Added transparency to the VC widget window. Change colors in widgets. Fixed. MiG-15 VC radio mode does not work. Fixed. Active radio is not highlighted in the widget. AI surface. Freeze when performing embarking task for ship in some cases fixed. AH-64D by Eagle Dynamics. Adding the FCR mast-mounted assembly as a loadout option in the rearm/refuel menu. Fixed. Dedicated server doesn't start mission with AH-64D. Fixed. Crash on PLT when CPG activates auto-track in multicrew. Fixed. Setting the NVS to fixed and pressing slave crashes the game. Fixed. Crash while using FCR and alternate cursor trigger on FCR page. Jorgai tuning. Fixed. Gun bullets go missing 3000 m. Fixed. FCR will not operate after repair. Fixed. AIH-64 des gun position. Fixed. Missile rate limit and roll limit are only occurring when rolling right. Fixed. ECS temperature errors. Fixed. RLWR and ADF audio channels are not synced in multicrew. Fixed. Inner cockpit element intersects with pilot wiper blade. Fixed. Renamed the rocker label on the UFD2DL. Fixed. EHAT symbology text size is too small. Fixed. CPG range source is not repeated in pilot symbology when in coupe rocket mode. Fixed. Switching distance from KM to NM will freeze TSD scale. Fixed. FCR symbology elements are not affected by the symbology SYM brightness setting. Fixed. Command heading chevron is not referenced to aircraft heading when bob-up mode is entered. Fixed. AGM-114L will not launch below 38 feet on Sinai map. Fixed. HSI on-ship reference errors. Fixed. AGM-114L is tracking a target but ACQ is displayed as SKARG in white. Fixed. HDG on pan page should be referenced to magnetic north. Fixed. Leading zeros in lat/long minutes are not displayed in point review status windows. Fixed. ENDR status window on TSD should be hidden when fuel flow is 0 lb/HR. Fixed. Auto page off cannot be chosen on ASE page. Fixed. Activation-déactivation logique forcée au LO NDR fuel page. Fixed. Power interruption is triggering ENTR-INU1 BRSD and ENTR-INU2 BRSD advisories. Fixed. Point ADD/edit is using MPD cursor position on TSD instead of coordinates on KU. Fixed. Nav range is not being entered when the slave button is pressed if laser range is present. Fixed. RFHO message should not have a location option on COM MS direct page. Fixed. IAT messages are appearing in pilot symbology. Fixed. CPG's target store message not displayed on VID page in pilot crew station. Fixed. Target data from FCR TGT report is used by FCR aircraft as its own if a scan was already performed. Fixed. AZ limit is appearing in place of EL limit when the gun turret is near the aircraft centerline. Fixed. AZ limit, EL limit, and coincidence are not interrupting the gun from firing. Fixed. AZ limit from an inboard missile launch is being removed before the missile actually launches. Fixed. TEDAC cage and GELMC lettering swished. Fixed. Hold mode indicator behavior when enabled/disabled. F divided by a -18C by Eagle Dynamics. Fixed. Cold start datalink not working. Fixed. Crash when launching harm. Updated flight model and FLCS details in newsletter. Added new pilot helmets HGU-68/P and HGU-68/P with NWG. Fixed. MFD image in some sunlight exposure positions is corrupted. Fixed. Incorrect bingo caution. Fixed. On the ground with both engines running only fuel tank 2 depletes. Fixed. Fuel temperature 1000 degrees Celsius on the ENG page causing the fuel hot caution after repair. Fixed. Brake check holding at mil power. Fixed. Radar alt does not always give a warning when set on the UFC. Fixed. Some knobs glow when turned off. Fixed. Check TK Prezello warning with center fuel tank when climbing above 20K. Fixed. Harpoon sometimes self-destruct too early when using HTP. Fixed. Radar target heading oscillating in both STT and TWS and LTWS for closely spaced targets. Fixed. Some knobs are lit in a cold and dark cockpit. Fixed. ATT switch to STBY doesn't trigger GEX on FCS. Fixed. Keybind for bleed air not working. Fixed. Selecting TWS from a RWS STT will recenter skin line. Fixed. ACQ and bullseye information overlapping. Fixed. One look rate adds a 0 and next to the targets. Fixed. TDC on the RDR ATTK and AZ/EL pages does not show info for targets other than the LNS when in STT. Fixed. STT could lock the wrong target. Fixed. JDM indication is crossed out on the HUD when the JDM is not aligned. Fixed. Shoot and INLARQs not showing on the left DDI. Fixed, jamming targets are locked in ACM regardless of distance. Fixed, INS alignment on CV starts as RF but then switches to CBL. Fixed, PPLI doesn't work on Marianas terrain. Fixed, Warn-Alt values do not fit on the AC page. Fixed, SLAM indication is crossed out on the HUD and MFD when the SLAM is not aligned. Fixed, light bleeds into the cockpit around the brake pressure gauge. Fixed, cannot move skin center in VS. Fixed, AI nozzle and nozzle covers after shutdown are incorrect. F-16C Viper by Eagle Dynamics. Fixed, data link doesn't work after cold start. When starting or restarting the aircraft, the mid switch must first be set to OFF. Only set to on after the GPS switch has been set to on for 60 seconds and the dead time page displays GPS system. Fixed, elevators remain in the position when control is released. Fixed, crash may occur when exiting FCR OVRD. Fixed, possible DCS crash upon release of GBU-24. Fixed, possible crash when launching an IM. Fixed, markpoint created after VIP designation is offset. Fixed, dogfight mode lock freezes midair. Fixed, incorrect heading and distance to steer point with GBU-24. Fixed, cursor 0/SPI system not working in AG. Fixed, data link doesn't work for maps in the Western Hemisphere. Fixed, holding MPO switch in OVRD commands a nose down pitch rate. Fixed, training. JDM mission wrong coords given to verify. Fixed, differential stabilizer and rudder behavior in a deep stall with MPO engaged. Fixed, FLCS oscillations. Fixed, Maverick Viz and TGP SPI not working. Fixed, RWR bit logic improvements. Fixed, AGM 65 EO submodes corrections. Fixed, offset aim point positioned incorrectly on HUD depending on previous steer point. Fixed, AGM 154A ETA and TTI incorrect. Fixed, DTOS/VIS/YOVIS should not incur a slew to the navigation cursor. Fixed, Cat1 pitch oscillations at AOA limit. Fixed, AGFCR mode invalid state. Fixed, AGR OVRD flashes GM radar return when pressed. Fixed, TGP mask Q erroneously flashes if TGP is placed into standby while TGP is masked. Fixed, three-way switch for anti-skid/PB doesn't engage parking brake. Fixed, had harm target handover blanks out AG radar. Fixed, moving TDC with TGP and SDBY moves SPI to present position. Fixed, adverse small oscillations in 2 / landing gains when banked. Fixed, AIM 120 slave/bore option not available. Fixed, defog lever movement. Fixed, HSDEC FR/FLG filter function issues. Fixed, changing master mode while TGP OVRD is enabled is causing erroneous TGP mode entry. Fixed, AGM 65 VIS can get locked onto steer point. Fixed, AGM 88 POS launch zone overlaps. Fixed, WCMD impact timer inaccurate. Fixed, AGM 65 MLE scale only appearing in YOVIS when WPN is SOI. Fixed, HSDFZ can cause some symbology to disappear. Fixed, harm WPN TMS logic is incorrect. Fixed, idle nozzle position too wide. Fixed, ARM-L remains in HUD after our hard point disabled and laser arm is disabled. Fixed, AGM 65 VIS TMS forward on post designate can flash DLZ on HUD when no Mavericks remain. Fixed, designating had symbol while in CCIP/STRF submodes causes TGP to slew away from CCIP pipper. Me-24P by Eagle Dynamics. Some voiceovers added for pilot response on sliding and turns commands. Course set sync fix. Added course set keybinds. ATGM site orientation shift bug fix. Site orientation permanently shifts due to rotation limits, bugs and problems. ED forums, DCS.world. Blu-ray rotor hub tilt animation fixe. Radio VoIP PTT button error message fix. Potential fix for doors desync and gun delay in multi-crew. L39 omitko zaby Eagle Dynamics. Fixed, FKP circle is oval in MT build. A-10C2 tank killer by Eagle Dynamics. Added. Serpent's head mission. Fixed. Jammer functions will not become unavailable if jammer is removed. Fixed. Engines appear to randomly cut off when performing dives. Fixed. IFFM4 code knob starts at a position. Updated how ARC 186 control head controls and dials work. Added missed lines in the HSI instrument. Fixed. Air conditioner hot/cold clickable connectors are missing. Fixed. Radio placard number does not change when setting a different number in rearming menu. Fixed. Paveway 2, GBU 54 and APKWS do not guide to TGP laser designation. FW190D9 Dora by Eagle Dynamics. Updated whole sounds. F15 Suite 4 Plus by Razbam. Simulations. Version 1.8.7.232. Fixed, RBM azimuth sector not following cursor if latched on SP. Fixed, cursor not synced when latched on SP. Fixed, HRM patch video and symbology scaling slightly off causing designation errors. Fixed, WSO MRM/SRM radar presets programming. Fixed, missing OBSD, TFR warning light on front cockpit. Fixed, STT not triggering RWR alerts between F15 ES. Fixed, and /APG70 and /AQ13 having mutual interferences. Fixed, swapped SRM/MRM radar presets. Fixed, small glitch on RBM scope refresh sides with crosswinds. Fixed, IFF mode for returning hostiles as friendlies. Fixed, RWR threat icons does not show true distance from aircraft. Fixed, AG gunsight accuracy. Note, range to ground is still YP. Fixed, Lantern AQ, 14 TGP still functional if pod is removed from the aircraft due to enemy action. Fixed, Lantern AQ, 13 NVP still functional if pod is removed from the aircraft due to enemy action. Fixed, Lantern TGP when RETQ'd is locked to the velocity vector marker instead of the AG reticle. Fixed, PAX release program keeps station box despite it being empty. Fixed, PAX release program not cleared during rearming. Fixed, smart weapons packs not updating correctly during rearm. Fixed, CDS not loaded warning message being displayed when smart weapons are loaded. Fixed, smart WPNS sync problems during TGT-XFER when both pilot and WSO push the MPD's buttons at the same time. Fixed, smart WPNS pack not syncing after bomb release. Fixed, smart WPN's XFER of a SEQ PNT always displays SEQ 1.1. Added, AGR radar mode. Added, radar elevation reset upon entering guns mode. Added, radar guns mode quickstep/bump. Added, MGRS programming. Added, auto AGR. Improved, mutual interference accuracy. Improved, front cockpit auto acquire switch HOTAS logic. Updated, AARDR contact sticks now show relative heading RH instead of aspect. Updated, RWR behavior to radar lock and weapons launch. Updated, RWR audio warnings. Updated, bomb fuse delay for penetration set to 0.005 seconds. Updated, auto release consent for LGBs. Updated, aircraft models. Updated, HUD coating on combiner glass. Ave Osmbe Nabirazbam. Fixed, ICS volume control inverted. Fixed, aileron droop light logic. Fixed, NRAS box logic. Fixed, navigation error when INS is in NAV mode, WIP. Note, drift error is disabled until logic is fixed. Fixed, rocket slant range indicator using gun range values. Fixed, EHSD waypoint icon displaces when selecting W/OS steering. Added, ICS volume control keybinds. MiG-19P Farmer by Razbam. Fixed, taxi light not illuminating the runway. Fixed, landing light not working. Fixed, radio/ADF switch keybind not working. M2000C by Razbam. Added, red radio config panel. Added, secretary calc rearm bind. Mirage F1 by Airges. Systems. Added full IFF transponder simulation compatible with M2000 and F15E. Added the option to equip B, CE and EE with mode 4 IFF, new cryptographic unit, IFF panel and warning light only installed in a few aircraft in the module options. The F1M will be equipped with it by default. The AP light test now needs AC power to take place. Flight control system test now needs AC power to start. Fixed wheel brakes control in F1B right brake command was also moving the left brake while left brake command was doing nothing. F1B pitch/roll/rudder trim positions are synchronized in multicrew now. Added PBL 20123000L fuel tank to flyable versions of F1. Weight, balance and aerodynamics are accounted for. Fixed bug in which, when central and right external fuel tanks were mounted, no fuel was consumed. Brake warning light no longer turns on when actuating the brakes if the gear is deployed without weight on wheels. Several hydraulic system fixes were made. Circuit 1 and 2 accumulators were not working correctly, now fixed. Combat flaps and brake lights logic was incorrect with engine off, now fixed. Added AC electric 400 Hz cockpit sound. The seat height is now initialized before the simulation is unpaused at mission start. It eliminates a sudden pilot head position move once the simulation has started. F1B, fixed not moving rear seat rudder trim switch when using keyboard. The seat height adjustment switch's click spots are correctly initialized now to eliminate click spot position misalignments before the seat is moved for the first time. F1B, added keybinds for rear seat height adjustment. F1B, forward canopy now cannot be lowered and closed before the rear canopy is closed and locked. Added separate input commands for stages 1 and 2 of the radar elevation increase/decrease buttons. Added disable force feedback effects option to the module options. Pilot flight controls are set to neutral now when the pilot has lost consciousness. Added 2 input commands, move throttle from idle to stop and move throttle from stop to idle. Added button like input entry for the throttle idle cut function. It moves throttle to stop when pressed and then back to idle once it is released. The movement speed for pilot stick and rudder by keyboard was increased by a factor of 2. Now it is possible to click the throttle out from stop position, disregarding the actual throttle axis input. Then, the throttle will be animated in the cockpit to the actual axis input position. Communications. Added a radio selector box defaults section in the module options with default volume potentiometers positions. Now any of the default voice chat, cockpit VoIP PTT commands, R.1, R.2, etc., can be used to activate transmission. It is made to reduce player effort to config or deconflict between modules' voice chat input settings. Pressing any of those commands will activate voice chat transmission via the currently selected radio. Now both default voice chat, cockpit and VoIP PTT input commands can be used to activate crew communication in F1B, given that F1B intercom hot mic always enabled option is unchecked in the module options. Fixed radio status being incorrectly displayed as gray box, i.e. is turned off in voice chat at hot start. Added F1B intercom hot mic always enabled option to the module options, though hot mic itself is not operating correctly yet. Please use a default voice chat key command to talk to the crew member with this option unchecked. Pilot flight controls. Throttle will not make an abrupt jump to the actual position anymore when the joystick is moved for the first time after the mission was started. F1B, stick, rudder and throttle are now always at the same position at both seats. F1B, now another seat afterburner detent position is correctly taken into account if it was modified in module options. F1B, fixed resulting stick position when force feedback is enabled only in one of the 2 seats. F1B, throttle will not jump anymore when the second crew member joins. F1B, throttle transition between own and other seat input axis positions is now smoothly animated when the FM control is transferred between seats. Controls indicator. F1B, with combined controls mode disabled, and when another crew member is present, the controls indicator now displays A. Other seat control input, gray index, when our seat has FM control, or B. Own seat control input, white index, when other seat has FM control. In combined controls mode, white/gray symbols work as before. The throttle control input, white index, is additionally displayed in all F1 versions. It can be observed, with another crew member being absent, when the input axis is moved with the throttle being at stop. Stick/rudder positions now account for trim settings. Same applies to other seat controls positions in F1B. F1B. Controls indicator now displays C symbol before F and R symbols when the combined controls mode is enabled. Miscellaneous. Default 6 DOF view restrictions are now available again for user modifications, now can be edited in views F1CMN.lua. Throttle handle and pilot hand got animation in the external 3D model. Module options dialog was updated, force feedback related options were arranged as a visually separate group. Cockpit tooltip and the corresponding command name and inputs for air conditioning auto/manual switch are now the same. Fixed IFF mode, see clickable switch tooltip. Added anti-ship strike task to all F1 versions. Minor flight manual updates were made. C-101 Aviojet by Aviodev. General. Added disable force feedback effects option to module options. Pilot flight controls are set to neutral now when the pilot has lost consciousness. Fixed batteries being constantly overheated when flying at high altitudes for quite a long time. Change the module options tab name from C-101EB to C-101. The idle cutoff click spot on the throttle handle is hidden now when the throttle is advanced forward from its idle position. Now it is possible to click the throttle out from stop position, disregarding the actual throttle axis input. Then, the throttle will be animated in the cockpit to the actual axis input position. Communications. Added audio control panel defaults options group to module options with default volume potentiometers positions. Now any of the default voice chat, cockpit VoIP PTT input commands, R.1, R.2, etc., as well as both cockpit and VoIP PTT commands can be used to activate transmission. It is made to reduce player effort to config or deconflict between modules' voice chat input settings. Pressing any of those commands will activate voice chat transmission via the currently selected radio. Pilot flight controls. Stick, rudder and throttle are now always at the same position at both seats. With combined controls mode disabled, stick, rudder, and throttle will be animated to the new positions according to the other seat controls input when FM control is transferred between seats. i.e. there will be no immediate jump to the new positions. FM will take this into account, thus avoiding abrupt aircraft trajectory changes or engine stress in the case of throttle input. Controls indicator. With combined controls mode disabled, and when another crew member is present, the controls indicator now displays A. Other seat control input, gray index, when our seat has FM control, or B. Own seat control input, white index, when other seat has FM control. In combined controls mode, white/gray symbols work as before. The throttle control input, white index, can be observed now, with another crew member being absent, when the input axis is moved with the throttle being at stop. Controls indicator now displays C symbol before F and R symbols when the combined controls mode is enabled. JF-17 by Deca Ironwork simulations. New, refill external fuel tank via radio menu. Fixed, fighter-to-fighter data link. Fixed, GB6 open altitude setting now is 800 to 3,200 feet. Fixed, GB6 cluster bomb/SFW dispenser accuracy. Fixed, Type 200A cannot CCRP release over 1,000 feet. Fixed, PF-12 pylon weight. Fixed, GB6 indicated launch range 2 short issue. Adjusted, oxygen volume and consumption rate. Prepare to switch to ED's LS6/GB6. MB339A/PAN by India Foxdeco visual simulations. Fixed, HSI course setting does not take into account the magnetic declination. Fixed, pitch trim insufficient. Improved, flight model lateral stability. Improved, flight model rudder efficiency at low speed, better control in crosswind conditions. Improved, collision model. Added, MB339 T-Bird 2, Lockheed T-Bird 2 livery. Version for 1989 US JPATS competition. Added, key bindings for the following categories, see the MB339 forum section for the complete list. Master caution. AHR/GPS system. Xenomodus. MIG 21 bis bei Magnitude 3 LLC. Deleted 2 double inputs conflicted with default screenshot and active pause inputs. Special options, change default ASP reticle state from gaming to realistic unchecked. For gaming state, the user needs to check this option. Added clickable polarization filter for the radar screen, controls the radar screen illumination. All missions checked and resaved. Priston Eagle 2 Magnitude 3 LLC. All missions checked and resaved. Sa 342 Gazelle Bipolichop Simulations. Exterior model art updates. Added new PBR material for glass surfaces. Added 3D model detail additions. Added reworked damaged and destroyed 3D models. Fixed general PBR material improvements. Fixed 3D model shape and smoothing. Overhauled and replaced all external textures and liveries in full PBR. Full list of added liveries. Fixed Athos/GOA site now only updates when not stowed FPS gain. Fixed Athos/GOA site symbology disappearing when changing zoom levels. Added opacity added to Athos/GOA symbology. Fixed magnetic variation not displaying correctly. Added document explaining the new French liveries in the modules. Doc folder. Added kneeboard pages. Added minigun tracer ratio selection, fewer tracers for NVG operations. Fixed M134 fire logic. Updated M134 weapon model. Updated M134 gunner model. Updated M134 sight now collimated. Added first iteration of AI gunner limited to player controlled Gazelle. Known issues, external weapon sounds not matching correct type of weapon. Flaming Cliffs 3 by Eagle Dynamics. Updated external and cockpit 3D models of next aircraft, A-10A, F-15C, Su-27, Su-33, J-11. Su-33 repair on a carrier's deck ends up with aircraft in water fixed. Black Shark 3 by Eagle Dynamics. Fixed crash cockpit Ka50.dll. Saint Aubry's map screen flickers constantly if display resolution setting if set to 1024 every frame fixed. Combined arms by Eagle Dynamics. Synchronization of S-300 launchers on slopes in MP fixed. Infantry does not move after switching green state fixed. Fixed lock on state of Sun 9. Deactivation works only on part of units from the group fixed. Fixed liveries name FFG Oliver Perry. Fixed issue with ground units that in some cases allowed them to track targets without clear LOS, AAA and SAM tracking target behind mountain. Fixed problem with short launch range of NASAMS. Added lock-on and launch sounds for Strela and Igla. Fixed position of static units. Fixed recoil from missile launches. Fixed weather in CA missions. Increased sight magnification of ATGM TOW launcher. South Atlantic by RASBOM simulations. Updated MR maps for noise textures. Updated ground clutter, improved foliage blending and density to improve seamless transition. Fixed log entry bug for Azalea SD bush missing. Fixed Rio Turbio NDB map display. Relocated Cullen Airfield to the right geolocation. Fixed Cullen F10 map bug. Introduced a 40M dredge channel for ships to use at San Carlos Water and Ajax Bay within the Falklands Islands. Reworked MPA, Ushuaia heliport to be more in keeping with the surrounding area. Reworked blocks within Stanley to increase performance. Syria map by Ugra Media. Optimization of scenes and models. The number of bushes in scenes of airfields and forest areas was reduced. The number of damage models was reduced. Reduced the number of damages textures. Simplified damages and car models. Updated vector data renderer on ground textures. The territories of southern Israel and Jordan have been worked out in more detail. Added Amman, King Abdullah II, Prince Hassan, Muwafafak Salti and Herzliya airfields. Fixed the GRM of runway 03 in Beirut airfield. Fixed relays in Ramat David airfield. Fixed ILS in Ramat David airfield. Fixed errors in objects. Fixed the depth of the sea near the shore. Changed tower frequency from emergency 121.5 to normal 120.5 at Wujah al-Hajar airfield. Increased the length of the runway at Ein Shemer airfield. Added parking lots at Ein Shemer, Megiddo, Ramat David airfields. Normandy 2.0 map by Ugra Media. Fixed bugs on the Thames embankment in London. Fixed an error in the terrain at Burnay St. Martin airfield. Fixed errors in taxiways of Biggin Hill and Lim airfields. Removed duplicated ATC towers. Reduced the number of objects in the scenes of airfields Detling, Lim, Manston. Improved scenes of airfields Biggin Hill, Detling, Lim, Manston. Improved backing scenes of airfields Detling, Lim, Manston, Abbeville Drucat, Merville Calonne. Added traffic at Biggin Hill, Detling, Lim, Manston airfields. Added the High Halden and Dunkirk airfields. F-14 Tomcat by Hebler simulations. Added and /ALQ 167 ECM pod as a visual loadout model for TARPS missions. Added ECA countermeasure pod visual models for TARPS missions. Fixed AI Wingman 2 and Wingman 4 issues in the comms menu. AJS 37 Viggen by Hebler simulations. Major art revision and refinements for better accuracy and usability. Special thanks to Viggen Maestro MYC. Added missing lights to the upper air brake. Corrected landing lights mounting angle and properties. Changed taxi light properties for more accurate angle and intensity. Remade the distance indicator to show the distance more accurately. Range accuracy is now within plus 100 meters, 1000 meters, average accuracy is plus minus 40 meters, 400 meters. New, added optional imperial altimeter and distance indicator. New, implemented major art corrections and refinement pass for entire DCS, Viggen cockpit, non-exhaustive list including modified model of pitch trim indicator, brake pressure gauge, oxygen gauge, nozzle position indicator. Rotated EP13 glass and changed HUD and radar screen. Evened out lighting strength on instruments. Fixed broken lighting on some instruments. Fixed some degenerate normals across the entire cockpit mesh. Removed the black paint on panels being illuminated. Added Bluetooth radar symbols to illuminate radar brightness and belistening to illuminate cockpit illumination. Added aero illumination on FR22 panel and MIL flag on distance indicator. Fixed white lines in the radar display moving with the sweep. Removed lens flare from lights. Added night lighting to warning flag on CI. Changed FLI needles and wings to be lit more realistically. Added dots on panels to see what position the rotary switches are in. Added STD cover lighting effect. Clearer and more accurate warning panels. Also dotted a few A, and O, and added some missing lines. Redder altitude warning light, brighter AP light and alt warning light, and clearer radar range numbers. Thickened altimeter 0.5 lines and added text on weapon jettison and X-tank jettison covers. Added emissiveness to the Alpha 15.5 button for nighttime visibility. Updated placement of selected CI scale 15, 30, 60, 120 lights moved toward the bottom of the scope. Updated CI compass bug size, made wider and slightly thicker, and updated 12 o'clock marker size and shape. Added missing lights to fall blast, trans/rev, AP buttons, reverser handle, CI bearing bug. Changed color of FA with diuresis LLD last and trans/REV rights to orange and yellow respectively. Changed cartridge reader model and texture to fit new DDC. Animated throttle linkage to move with the throttle more accurately and attached rear half of throttle linkage for linked movement. Animated canopy lever linkage to move more accurately. Made FLI ball horizon fixed in rotation per real device. Increased to snirk button size and fixed duplicated VFR/IFR chart. Fixed clipping on the left ejection rope and added the right side ejection rope. Updated KB panel model/texture. Updated placement of FLI parts to align with each other, recentered FLI ball and remastered FLI ball texture entirely. Added ZUS fasteners to the right annunciation panel, made the oxygen switch larger, and added separate white startup marks on the right annunciator panel. Put emergency instruction illumination switches to till. Added illumination to FR22 AGRUP and BS text and updated rollers for both. Added illumination dimming to the annunciation panels. Added mounting screws for the AOA indicator, made altimeter knob larger, changed textures on altimeter settings controls. Made the arrows on FR22 change with instructor. Lighting knob. Made the instruments on the left panels change with instructor. Lighting knob. Radar light changes color with pole filter changes. Added glass windows to FR22 AGRUP and BS selectors. Made the EMKARG knob girthier and updated its textures. Changed size of waypoint buttons and changed WP panel textures slightly. New data panel model. Added 6 o'clock marker on CI compass, glass to ADI slip ball and missing glass to CI. Added EPK/FK button on left wall panel. Add a missing text to INSTR listening and FLI bell and changed color of several lamps. Added text on OM bell knob, changed infragraining decals and added FK on master mode. Changed GLJUS radar knob model, added several decals on emergency trim panel. Added numbers to temperature control and text to radio test knob. Changed AFK light color to orange. Made a Alpha 15 guest button on a light larger. Changed model around the RWR lights and changed RWR light textures. Added screws to CI modeled compass. Made FR22 selector panels GAM and GFM lights to illuminate individually to show which is selected. Changed altimeter guest TD a select animation to move the knob out instead of in. It also moves more. Changed distance indicator model and centered hands on clock. Added text on HUD brightness knob, GLJUS SI. Slightly changed orientation of reverser handle. Increased size of speed indicator knob. Added animation for correct start POS for speed indicator hand. Campaigns. AV 8B Sky Warrior campaign by Eagle 86. All missions, ship routes have been changed. Fixed the erroneous triggering of the E part of the group in the zone, trigger when the group is dead. Mission 3, fixed a bug with the takeoff of the wingmen. F-14B Operation Sandworm campaign by Sandman Simulations. All missions, some adjustments made to prevent premature landing list activation. F divided by a -18C inherent resolve campaign by Looking Glass. Campaign file has been completely rebuilt. Users now have option to select hot start or cold start versions of the missions in the campaign menu. See Screenshot. Mission file names and briefing names have been changed to accommodate campaign changes. Also includes all fixes from previous updates. P-51D Debden Eagles campaign by Reflected Simulations. Mission 7 takeoff bug workaround. Mission 7 dry pass on armored car workaround. Mission 8 Caboose Red 4 engine failure simulated better. Mission 10 Blue 3 and 4 won't take off fixed. F-14A Fear the Bones campaign by Reflected Simulations. Mission 11 tanking progression bug fix. F-14 Speed and Angels campaign by Reflected Simulations. Mission 9 Safety trigger added for qual conditions. Mad Black Shark campaign by Stone Sky. Edited the text of the radio dialogue in Mission 4. Removed static JF-17s that sometimes caused an error in Mission 4. Search beacon in Mission 8 has been redesigned. Mad campaign by Stone Sky. Fixed takeoff weight for the Gazelle in Mission 7. Mad AH-64D campaign by Stone Sky. Fixed bug UH-60 in Mission 11. Added FCR to all missions. Infantry fall into inside the Tarawa landing ship fixed. UH-1H the Huey Last Show campaign by Sororo. Mission 10, LZ Latigo tweaks and fail-safe triggers added for the user not to be destroyed by the opposing forces. Mission 15, AI units tweak to prevent crashes on takeoff. Time acceleration stops when voiceovers are triggered. F-16C Red Flag 21-1 campaign by Eagle Dynamics Bunyap campaigns. Updated missions to include critical mission times in the briefing and added datalink assignments for team and donors. P-51D Debden Eagles campaign by Reflected Simulations. Mission 7 Takeoff Bug Workaround. Mission 7 Dry Pass on Armored Car Workaround. Mission 8 Caboose Red 4 Engine Failure Simulated Better. Mission 10 Blue 3 and 4 Won't Take Off Fixed. FW-190A 8 Horido. Campaign by Reflected Simulations. More damage fail-safes added to Mission 12. Fine Tuning. F-14A Fear the Bones campaign by Reflected Simulations. Mission 11 Tanking Progression Bug Fix. F-14 Speed and Angels campaign by Reflected Simulations. Mission 9 Safety Trigger added for qual conditions. Mission 9 to 10 Front Radio channels updated. Mission 7 to 8 Bandit Engagement Safety Triggers added. Mission 12 PDF Update. Mi-8 MTV2 and Ka-50 Memory of a Hero campaign by Stone Sky. Ka-50-2 was unavailable in Mission 5 fixed. F divided by a -18C Inherent Resolve campaign by Looking Glass. Updated skins for player and wingman AI aircraft due to incorrect board number display issue. Player now wears VMFA 232 Red Devils liveries, squadron actually deployed to Inherent Resolve. Updated missions 10 Rail Yards fixed target 3 Smoke FX error, added SCAD success notification. A -10C divided by a -10C2 tactical training qualification campaigns by Maple Flag missions. Corrected AI taxi issues for TAC 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17 for both A10C and A10C2 campaigns. UH-1H Worlds Apart Spring 2025 campaign by Low Level Heaven mission development. Mission 1 AI does not trigger when landing at Station 1. The trigger has been adjusted and the takeoff can be forced as a solution via the F10 radio menu.